Is there state-sponsored discrimination going on in America today? Incredibly, there is. But you know what? It's coming from the Biden administration. So here's the incredible irony. The very party that says that it's fighting racism, that it's identifying white supremacy as the problem, that is mobilized to act, is the party that is using the government to discriminate against citizens based on their race. Wow. Now, when I was at the Michael Lindell rally this past weekend, I was chatting with Diamond and Silk in our little trailer before we went up to the stage. And Diamond and Silk were saying to me, they were like, Dinesh, you know, we keep hearing about racism and we separately keep hearing about discrimination. So what is the relationship between those two things? Are they the same thing? Is racism and discrimination, are they sort of synonyms for each other? And I said, no, they're actually two different things. You could argue that one comes out of the other. Perhaps you could say racism is the theory and discrimination is the practice. But racism by itself is a system of beliefs. It's a system of thought. If I believe that another ethnic group is not just inferior, but intrinsically inferior, you may say biologically inferior, that's racism. That is the classic meaning of racism. But discrimination is not a thought, it's an action. To discriminate is to make a choice, to make a preference based upon race. That's racial discrimination. And in some ways, when we think about America after the Civil War, in other words, after slavery, it's really primarily discrimination that is the problem, even more than racism per se. Why? Well, for the simple reason, imagine a country, let's just say, full of racists, but no one discriminates. So lots of people think, let's say, blacks are inferior or Latinos are inferior, but they don't do anything about it. And then the question becomes, so what? So what if in your mind you think something, but you don't segregate, you don't discriminate, you don't deny blacks opportunities or jobs, you don't act in any way that enforces your theory? Well, in that case, racism would be sort of a paper tiger. It'd be completely harmless. It's the discrimination, if you will, that puts the evil into action. And that's why, by the way, our civil rights laws, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, no discrimination on the basis of race or gender or sex. Now, the remarkable thing is the Biden administration is actually discriminating in exactly this way, and it's doing so in a manner that flatly contradicts the Civil Rights Act of 1964, flatly contradicts the idea of equal rights under the law. The good news is that judges are striking these Biden administration policies down. So let's look at two of them. The first one is the Biden administration's policy of using its COVID restaurant relief program, but making that program available on a preferential basis to Black and Latino and Asian Pacific Islander restaurant owners. In other words, I won't say no whites need apply, but it's close to that, because it's sort of like if you're whites, get to the back of the bus, get to the back of the line. Why? Because they've defined socially disadvantaged in such a way that in order to be socially disadvantaged, you have to be, quote, a person of color. Now, Greer's Ranch Cafe, which lost out on its COVID benefits during the pandemic, sued and won. And the court basically said, no, Biden administration, you cannot do this. Stop this. So the Biden administration goes, oh, that's in Texas, these Texans. You know what? We'll appeal it. And so they appealed to Judge Tapar. This is at the United States Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit, but guess what? They lost again. And here I'm now going to quote from Judge Tapar, because his quote is so telling. This case is about whether the government can allocate limited coronavirus relief funds based on the race and sex of the applicants. We hold that it cannot. It cannot. So in other words, you can't discriminate on the basis of race in either direction, in favor of whites or in favor of blacks. It is unconstitutional. It is not permitted. Now, the Biden administration had a second program, and this was a program to provide race-based relief for farmers. And the idea here is that the government, the Biden administration, had a loan forgiveness program for farmers and ranchers. This was under Section 1005 of the so-called American Rescue Plan Act. But a bunch of farmers who were not eligible for this, not eligible because I'm now going to read the Biden administration's definition of a socially disadvantaged group. See how telling this is. A group whose members have been subjected to racial or ethnic prejudice because of their identity as members of a group without regard to their individual qualities. So in other words, if you're a member of a historically disadvantaged group, as they define it, then you qualify. If you're not, you don't. And the court basically said, no go. The court struck it down. And now I'm going to quote from the court. The court found the program was unambiguously discriminatory, quote, since the only consideration in determining whether the farmer or rancher's loan should be completely forgiven is the person's race or national origin. Now, the court said, look, if you can show that these particular farmers or ranchers have been victims of discrimination, then you can provide them with compensatory relief. But you can't just assume that because someone is a member of a minority group, they are automatically victims of discrimination. In other words, you have to prove actual discrimination, not merely appeal to what the court called anecdotes or references to historical discrimination. You know, my great-great-great-grandfather was discriminated against, therefore I deserve preferential COVID relief. That's not going to work. Now, what is really telling about this, and I think this is actually going to end up going to the Supreme Court, is that I think the Supreme Court is going to find in the same direction. Here's a quotation from Judge Roberts, from a 2007 case, and I think it sums up the whole issue. The way to stop discriminating on the basis of race is to stop discriminating on the basis of race. By the way, I said virtually that exact line in my book, The End of Racism. I'm just delighted to see that this idea is now becoming mainstream. Let's remember that the Biden administration thinks that there are two types of discrimination. The reason, if you ask them to justify their program, and you see this in their lawyers' briefs, they think that there's benign discrimination, which is what they're doing, and there's invidious discrimination, which used to occur in the past. But think of how dumb this is. All discrimination is benign to the guy doing it. All discrimination is invidious to the guy who's suffering from it. So when a person is being deprived of a benefit merely because they belong to a group, you're black, you're not going to get it. Or you're white, you're not going to get it. Who's going to think that's benign? Why would that guy who is losing out on a benefit that he would otherwise compete for or otherwise be in line for, why would that guy think this is benign in any way? So it's not benign, it's invidious. All discrimination of this sort is invidious discrimination. And when the left talks about structural racism, racism embedded in policy, racism that still finds its way through the veins of government, yes, it exists, but you know where to look for it? Look straight at the people in the White House. Look straight at the perpetrators in the Biden administration.